All right, as you can tell, we have a new face. So before we get into live golf, live golf, I don't know what the fuck we could call it. We can make fun of it. Tito, correct? Am I right? How we doing? You are Corey's friend. Share a little bit about yourself. And I'm kind of happy because we're going to get some good golf insight. No, I'm just kidding. As usual, Corey's here. It's US Open week. It's going to be in Massachusetts, I believe. Tito, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've been playing golf all my life since I was 4.
Nice.
Worked at a couple courses. Always been in golf. Actually met Corey when I was working over in Irvine at Oak Creek.
Nice.
And yeah, I played pretty seriously as a kid. Played in junior college, and then caddied a little bit too. So Bo Kim, he's a Korean Tour player. Caddied for him Q School, and then did some PGA Tour events as well, which was awesome. And then actually I caddied at a US Open at Marion 2013.
Oh, hell yeah. Wait, so being a caddy, like we see it on TV a lot, there's not a lot of like, glory that's given by like the broadcasters. I mean, do you get to see and do you hear certain things, especially like players shit talking each other or like, freaking out? You have guys like Patrick Reed, who we're going to get into in just a second, just bitching at everybody. Do you get at that a lot?
I mean, the guys I was with, they're pretty tame. You hear a lot from the gallery more so than maybe you wouldn't hear on TV, people screaming stuff at the players. I mean, we got paired with Adam Scott and Bubba Watson. So there's some funny things being yelled at them throughout the round. Chicks yelling they want to have Adam Scott's babies.
There you go. I think there's a lot of women that want that in the gallery. Corey, as usual, what's up, buddy? You're drunk right now. You were late. I'm happy that you actually joined us. I didn't think you were going to make it today. How you doing?
Well, I definitely feel better than you look with that mustache on your face, but yeah, no,
I lost the bet.
Listen, I'm here. I'm ready to go. We got US Open week. I'm fired up. Great to have Tito on. Tito's a very modest guy. He's much better than he let himself on to be. But yeah, I'm ready to dive into this thing, man. It's another major week, and let's freaking go.
Yeah, so some stuff happened schedule-wise, so we didn't get to do the PGA Championship. So Justin Thomas won that last time. Let's not bury the lead here. So it's LIV Golf, right? LIV, LIV. I don't know if it's supposed to be like Roman numerals. I don't know if it's just someone who was at a bad marketing meeting. It's LIV Golf. Dustin Johnson, I don't know if we want to be, I mean, we could go at so many angles with this. What the hell? Did this come out of nowhere? Like, I just feel like maybe this was in the works. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but in a time where, I feel like the PGA, they've done a better job in the last, I would say, better part of a decade, trying to incorporate, more of the fan base. They're trying to get like more of a social media presence with their players. Tito, I'll start with you. I mean, what the fuck is this? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
I was very surprised by DJ. The other players, not so much.
Yeah.
But DJ, you figure, has enough money to live comfortably. He doesn't need to go some non-competitive tour where he still has a bunch of good years left.
Corey, I mean, what do you think? You have DJ who there could have been a number of players that really could have, I guess, ignited this. I remember getting the update on my phone. It's like, oh, Dustin Johnson essentially quit his job. He resigned, turned in his PGA Tour card. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
Must be nice to retire early. No, I agree with Tito. I mean, like, look, the guy is, he's number one in the world for, quite a while there for a little bit. And it's kind of weird. There was some rumors kind of circulating for a while as this tour was kind of trying to pick up and Greg Norman was funding it and all these things. And, DJ was one of the guys that came out and spoke and said, I want to play with the best of the best. And right now, I'm sticking to the PGA Tour. I think that's where the best players are. And that's who I want to play against. And then all of a sudden, the first event was about to come up, the list of names dropped, and he was on there. And I think it shocked a lot of people. Listen, $125 million just to go play the tournaments is a lot of money. And he said he was doing what was best for his family. But, if he would have stayed on the PGA Tour, gosh, he would have won a lot more tournaments. I think would have had a great career, would have made plenty good of a living. But at the end of the day, he's kind of leading the pack, and we'll kind of see what comes of it.
So he's what, 37, 38, not exactly a spring chicken, but you would think he probably has another 10 to 12 plus years of really good golf in him. And obviously money talks. I mean, essentially, Tito, what is this? Is he just going to basically play only the majors? I mean, he said it in his press conference, but is he only going to want to do the Masters and the US Open and then be like, you know what? I don't want to do the RBC Canadian Open. I don't want to do the Dell Technologies match play. I don't want to do, here in Phoenix, the Waste Management Open. I mean, what is his premise going from here?
I mean, I think more so than the money, actually, for him, he's got outside interests, likes having, other things to do other than golf.
Like hang out with his hot wife?
Like maybe her. Yeah, that could be one of them. So, I mean, I think it's actually the schedule that was probably more appealing for DJ than so much the 125 million. Even though that's nice, I think he's got enough money where the money isn't going to be everything for him. It's more that chill schedule that they offer.
Yeah, like I saw like the scoreboard. It looks like they're playing laser tag, and then they have like team names. I figured they could have been a little more creativity put into it. Yeah, so okay, we've talked enough about DJ. Let's flip to Phil. And honestly, it's what, June 11th, June 12th, somewhere in the middle of the year, I guess officially. I would say since this calendar year started, since 2022 started, I don't know what the fuck Phil is on. And because other than maybe like Ricky Fowler, he's kind of like one of the biggest faces of golf, like marketing. He was on TV appearances. He was on the Manning cast. He was on the match. He was providing like excellent insight. And I was writing my notes. I was like, I don't know how much you watch the NFL, but Tony Romo basically was playing one day, hurt his back. And then within the next like 18 months was a fantastic broadcaster. And I thought Phil could do the same, and since, January, didn't play in the Masters. And then, the whole thing with the book and the comments that were said, I don't know what he's on. Maybe someone like him that's as accomplished as he is and his resume presents itself. I mean, what is he on?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Phil's always kind of been outspoken. That's kind of the angle that he takes. I think when a lot of the stuff came out with the book, that really kind of sent it over the top, and him arguing with Alan Shipnuck about like, hey, that wasn't on the record. And then Alan saying, yeah, Phil, it was, it was, but because of people's reactions, it wasn't taken how Phil probably thought it was going to be taken. So I think the whole thing just really spiraled downhill. And I think Phil's been such an integral part of the game for so long. Like fans love him. There's a lot of reasons to love him. I think he's been unfairly treated to a certain extent. Like the way, when the first comments came out about his, disdain for the PGA Tour and things like that, not saying that was all like he had grounds for all that, but I think people kind of reacted like he had done something really, really bad. So I don't think all of it was warranted, but at the same time, we're talking about a guy that's made a lot of money on and off the golf course. So to say some of the things he said while some of these guys are coming up and grinding and working hard, it just was, I thought was kind of a cheap shot by Phil. I don't think that some of the comments he made were respectful towards the tour and the people that have given him everything that he has at this point. So, and then you get into the whole gambling thing and there's a whole
that was awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
he's just like us.
Right. Yeah. Just a degenerate like us. But maybe we can get him on the podcast next week. No. So it's one of those things where we don't know the full story. I haven't read the book. I'd actually really like to, but you want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, when more and more starts to unfold, then it's kind of like, and then he shows up to the first event looking how he's looking, takes a picture with Dustin Johnson. Someone's like, hey, the new series of Narcos is coming out, right?
Dude, that was such a bad picture. I remember looking at that and I was like, my God, better lighting, maybe different hairdo. Like, dude, you obviously can afford plugs. Like, he's in his 50s, but still.
Yeah, I mean, listen, his goatee wasn't as bad as your mustache, but at the same time, like,
I lost so the Phoenix Suns, I jumped on the bandwagon and I was like, they're gonna go to the NBA finals. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna win, but they are more than talented enough. I lost the bet with the coworker and essentially I have to wait until the NBA finals are over. And Tito, as you could tell, I have Asian roots in me, so I can't grow facial hair. It's really bad. This has been since when was it? April 15th, like shortly after tax day is when the playoffs started. So I don't
it,
know. Maybe Phil
I,
can take some better notes on facial hair.
no, I was gonna say I respect the fact that you pay your bets, unlike Phil.
But basically the reason we hopped on, and again, Tito's joined us for the first time, and really glad that he's joined us. US Open, one of the best tournaments of the year. I don't know where it ranks amongst your guys' majors, but as usual, we're here to try to win some money. Now we're not trying to go into millions of debt like Phil and fucking get all crazy. Who do we like? Let's try to win some money here.
Yeah, I'll start off with just a couple names. I like, Berger and Sung J M are probably like my top two guys.
Oh,
Sung J, just ball striker. All his stats are really good this year. And then Berger is also he's accurate. I'm looking for guys with driving accuracy this week. He's got that. He can be hot with the irons, and short game's always good. So driving accuracy and short game around the green is like my two big stats this week.
Corey, what about you?
I love that. So yeah, first off, I'm just gonna shoot off the number. You can get a nice Berger medium rare at 50-1. I love Daniel Berger, man. Like, the thing is, Daniel Berger is so good off the tee that like people don't understand. He's not gonna like wow you as far as like how far he hits it and all that, but he's gonna keep it in the fairway. He's pretty good around the greens. The putter has to show up. I like Sungjae as well. This course is not like super long. It's barely over, I think it's like 7,200, a little over 7,200 yards, par 70. So the whole Bryson DeChambeau aspect from 2 years ago at Winged Foot, the bomb and gouge thing, it's not going to work. It's just not. And for multiple reasons. One is the way that these fairways and everything are set up. You're going to have to hit them because the greens are very small. So there's a lot of like comparable courses. Pebble Beach is one of them. But like you're going to get a lot of small greens. So you got to be playing from the fairway if you want to get the ball to stop. And then like Tito alluded to, you have to have a short game around the green because you're probably going to miss a handful of these greens because they're so small, because they're running fast. They're going to be firm. So you got to have an around the green game, but you got to be really, really sharp off the tee and then just total tee to green, even on approach. I really like that. So Daniel Berger is the guy. I'll go to the well with Daniel Berger. I'll die on this hill. I've loved Daniel Berger for so long. It is a little bit of a bias. So let me just preface that, but I just think he's so good in a lot of different facets of his game. And this is one of those courses where he hasn't had the greatest track record in majors. I think this is one of those courses that fits him very, very well. So I'm going to jump back on that train. You can get him at a great number.
Any long shots? Like, what do you think? Is there someone you've nailed? Zalatoris, like I would say the better part of the last couple months. He's right there. He's not winning, but
I wouldn't say nail if he doesn't get it done, but
no,
yeah.
But if you're taking, if you're betting like a top 10, top 5, top 20 finish, there's favorable, scratch that you can get from that. Is there any that you like there?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys you can get like it at deeper odds. Like, for example, depends on what book you use. Adam Scott's like 80-1. Is he likely to win it? No. But a guy of that caliber at 80-1 is pretty good. But one guy I've been on for quite some time now is Davis Riley, and he's trending. He's been really good the last few weeks.
Davis Riley. Really. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him. That's crazy.
He flashed in the pan, a couple months ago at the Valspar. Sam Burns kind of edged him out there, which was, that was really entertaining. But he's good friends with Justin Thomas. He's got the all-around game. He's, again, same like a Daniel Berger type guy. He's not going to wow you off the tee. Like you're not going to see him hit the driver and be like, oh my God, he doesn't hit it far, but he's got a lot of pieces that you want to fit into this puzzle. He's been trending well. He's gaining confidence. I think he learned a lot from the Valspar when he took that huge number on the par 5. We kind of played himself out of it completely, but I think he's at the point now where he can kind of trust his game a little bit, go out there and do what he does and just kind of tee to green it and just kind of wear some of these other guys out. And then just hope the putter shows up. But you can get him at like 65 to 70 to 1, something in that range, which I think is a really good number. And the US Open is unique in the sense that you get a lot of guys that qualify in. I think there's like 66 or so that qualify in. So you can go to these qualifiers. You can try to make it through multiple qualifiers to actually get into the US Open, but amateurs, pros alike, I mean, you can go and you can play in these and try to make it in. So half of the field by nature are going to be guys that have never been in this position before. And we've seen Brooks Koepka talk about it, right? Like, this is the one tournament where half the field is going to be so nervous. They've never been in this position. You can almost kind of, I don't want to say X them out, but you're going to get guys that kind of pop that have a little bit of experience. But other than that, you're really looking at kind of the core of guys, half the field that really have a chance to go out there and play. And then you take another half of those guys that just don't show up that week. So I think this is one of those tournaments where you can take a few more flyers and see how it pans out. But this is one of my favorite. You asked where it ranks on the kind of the majors. I definitely go Masters. I just think there's so much history there and such a unique course we see once a year. But
yeah,
the US Open is so much fun because of the history and the fact that you can get these amateurs or these other pros that are really looking for their shot to qualify at any given time. Like Tito alluded to, I mean, he got to caddy in the 2013 US Open at Marion. So it's just a really cool thing that they've been doing for a lot of years. And I love that we're in 2022 and we're still doing it. So,
who you like, your top dog and the underdog, just rattle off really fast.
So my top 4, I would say, are Xander.
Mm-hmm.
I like Lowry a lot, Berger, and Sung J M, probably my top 4.
Okay.
And then I'd go Lucas Herbert, Brian Harmon, and maybe Seamus Power. Throw him in there.
Some of these names, I'm just like, oh my God. Corey, who do you got? Rattle off for us.
Yeah, these aren't make-believe people, by the way.
They're not mythical characters?
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mentioned Xander. I really like Xander. I really like Berger. So I agree with Tim on that. I'm glad we kind of we align there. Another name I haven't thrown out yet, but that I really like is Corey Connors. He gained some momentum, had a really good round finishing today in his home country of Canada. But again, he's the kind of guy like Tee to green. That's what you're going to get out of him. The putter just has to show up. But in a course like this, where like it's a premium to hit fairways and hit greens, I really like him. I agree with Neiman as well. That was another name that was on my list. So I'm glad Tito mentioned him. And then Davis Riley as kind of like a dark horse. It's tough. It's a major championship, so anything can happen, but that's kind of the reason I like him too. I just think his game fits the mold that you want here, and you can get him at a really good number. So those are the names I'm going to throw out there. And I'm also like Tim, I'm kind of trying to avoid some of the big names. I don't like some of the odds you can get on these guys. A lot of these guys have been playing a lot recently. Justin Thomas just won the PGA. So there's just a lot going on. I think we're going to be a little bit surprised by the name that we see this week hoisting the trophy, which is always exciting. So that's what I have to say about that.
God, Tito, you caddied at the US Open. That is actually badass. Holy shit. I can't imagine the energy. And you brought up a really good point. Dude, whether they're massholes or Bostonians, however you want to classify them, you gotta think these guys that are double dipping right now, God, they're gonna hear it. If I'm in the gallery, I would give them shit. Like, I don't really care. I mean, I think at the end of the day, they made a decision that was best for them, that was best for their family, that was best for their brand. I mean, under 1.5 years, this actually lasts. Like, if we're looking at 2 years from now, is it gonna falter or is it actually gonna thrive?
Yeah, that's so hard. I cannot even begin to predict that one. It's a tough one. But I mean, I can't imagine this competing with the PGA Tour. Just can't.
Corey?
Yeah, I mean, I can see it both ways. Like, I agree with what Tito just said. Like, PGA Tour is where a lot of the people, like, they've grown up, they've dreamed of playing there. Like, how could that not be the best tour that is out there to watch? But at the same time, you have guys like Pat Perez who like just consistently said, I'm not going. And all of a sudden he was offered the right amount of money. He's like, hey, guess what? I'm going. So I think if you get enough guys that are paid enough and enough guys that are able to somehow gain enough official world golf rankings to play in the majors, as long as those are still up for grabs, I think we could see some people eventually start to transition over. And if you get enough names over there that are big enough, I don't know, if the money's right and they can play in the majors, anything is possible, but it's very hard to predict at this point because we've only seen one tournament, or one event, I should say. So it's too early, but yeah, I mean, I hope it doesn't compete with the PGA Tour long term. I think it's going to be tough for them to do so, but anything's possible.
Can you imagine little Johnny in the backyard right now? Guys, I just want to grow up and be on the LIV tour. Like,
I want to sign for $100 million.
well, dude, they all these kids have fucking access to phones now and like TikTok and the internet. Like, they're reading the same shit and consuming the same stuff that we are. I don't know. It's what a crazy time. It ruffles some feathers, which I just love. I love getting people's reactions. But this was a lot of fun. Tito, good job on your debut. I love it. I really look forward to the next time we do this. Every major, we always try to get out and try to get some picks in and just kind of just shoot the shit with golf. And thankfully with LIV, who would have thought? Who would have thought? But thank you so much for listening. Tail these guys. I'm telling you right now, if you want to win money, Corey and Tito are money because they give insightful picks. And unlike Phil and looking like you're on the cover of Narcos wearing a fucking leather jacket or you're in some 80s promo picture, we're going to win some money. And that's the most important thing.